again.
Hi.
Welcome to our Powerhouse Smart podcast. This is the Powerhouse Cool Collabs podcast, where I select from my beautiful network of souls the coolest leaders in luxury design, build, and real
Oh,
estate.
Wendy, you're too kind. You're too kind.
Yes, and I share them with our audience, and it's commutable. So it's short and sweet, but we get a lot of great content, and you have so much to share, Philip. So without further ado, I want all of you to meet my dear friend, my new friend, Philip Sassano. Welcome, Philip!
Thank
Yay!
you. Thank you. Thank you. Thanks for having me on, Wendy. This is great. Any chance we have the opportunity to sort of converse like this, I think is awesome. So,
Yeah, and you just told me in our pre-conversation that you have a radio show. So when you share your story, please tell me about your radio show, to all of us about your radio show.
well, actually, the radio show is really interesting. The first time I did it, I've been doing it now for about 10 years. And the first time I did it, it was like a 30-minute show, and it literally sounded like I was being held hostage against my will to talk design. Like because I was new to radio, so I was scripting everything. I didn't really know exactly how to present my voice. I had never done like voice work where you could hear back like how you sounded. I mean, if you ever want to hold up a mirror to your communication, try taping yourself for like an hour. And I know you know this. You'll know when you got it right and when you sort of missed it. And so for the past 10 years, we've been doing this radio program that now is an hour. It's now on Spotify. Um,
Cool.
it's carried locally by Lake 96.1 WLKG here in Lake Geneva, and it airs every Sunday live, 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Time, and then it's available on Spotify anytime. But the interesting thing is, it's all across the board. It's art, it's creativity, it's how to live a more fulfilling and creative life. All of it, obviously, then through design.
Wow, what's the name of it?
The Design Coach Radio Show.
Okay, I love that. All right, so Mr. Design Coach Radio Show, can you please give me your story and how you got to where you are today, which is such a cool,
Uh,
niche, what you're doing.
it's interesting having looked back now because we've been in business over 25 years. Looking back, I didn't really know this term until it was brought to my attention maybe a couple years ago. But like, I am the definition of an autodidact. I I am self-taught everything. And in the mold of Bunny Williams and Kelly Wearstler and Thomas O'Brien and there's just so many self-taught great artists out there that have sort of had sort of an interest in history, like Thomas O'Brien, for instance, and parlayed that into like interior design. You just sort of followed this passion. I was the exact same way. Like Kelly Wearstler was a graphic artist. I actually was a fine artist. And so I graduated from Northern Illinois University with a degree in drawing and painting. And I just decided to figure out how to monetize my craft. And so I started actually doing high-end decorative paint work for the likes of Christopher Peacock, decorative finish work that I had researched in Europe, where I was taking like glazed finishes from walls in Europe and recreating them in everything from restaurants to residences. And somewhere right around 2005, my clients just liked the way that we were putting projects together and liked my eye and my taste. And we kind of bled right into sort of taking on larger projects as sort of like the builder remodeler. And so we had always then retained our artistic roots. So in other words, I was able to look at it as a contractor, like what was practical, what made sense, but then also like what was possible. And so that was, I think that's what was really exciting about our contracting roots, is that clients were always excited by me approaching solving a problem from multiple directions. Well, it was only a matter of time before I sort of realized that at the time the name of the company was Philip Sassano Design. And at the time I sort of realized, what I really love doing is I really love coaching people to great creative outcomes. And
Oh,
whether
cool.
that creative outcome is a living room, or whether that creative outcome is an entire new build, or whether that creative outcome is a party at this point, we'll get into that in a little bit. What I realized was I just really loved helping people create something with me instead of me doing it for them.
Mm.
So it was almost like born, before collaboration was like the big buzzword. We were just doing it as a practical matter within the business model. And so the design coach just felt like a logical name to be able to not only describe our philosophy, but then also our approach to putting great interiors together, and now so many other things. And not only is that what we talk about on a show, on the radio show on a regular basis, but it's something now that all I'm doing with my team now is I'm developing more coaches within the brand. And I think that's the most exciting part because right around 2015, we blossomed into a full service interior design firm and project management firm on a national level, doing projects nationwide. We specialize in high-end residential. Usually our clients have multiple homes and we tend to manage all of those projects and design for all of those projects. So it's very, very personal, very family driven, very legacy driven, and it's asset driven with the purpose of beautification and enjoyment. So it's like you talk about gratitude, like I never thought that when I graduated from Northern Illinois University with a degree in drawing and painting that these are the projects that I'd be working on, that these are the people with whom I'd be collaborating, and that we'd be here in 2020, oh gosh, almost 2026,
Yes.
realizing that for now 2 years, we've been actually post the design, or I would say, beyond the design, helping people enjoy these amazing properties by actually getting into the space where we help them enjoy it and live in it. And
Oh,
we do that,
that's
we do that, we do that through our lifestyle team, who is just fantastic with hooking up our clients with the resources it takes to enjoy the home. Because if you're blessed enough to have all of the assets that you can enjoy, it can dominate. The maintenance of it can dominate. The care of them can dominate, and you end up chasing all of these service providers around to instead of spending your time enjoying it. So that's what we do. It's a sort of a one-stop shop, easy button for luxury clientele.
wow, very entrepreneurial. And so, Philip, what do you spend most of your time on? Do you like pollinate your teams and they work with the clients, or how can you, because you've got a lot of different, things going on at one time.
No, I have a team that is amazing at what I call the orbit. I mean, if you can imagine orbiting a comet, that's me. Like
Okay.
I'm not this stationary sun. You know what I mean? Like I'm kind of an idea factory. I like being that way. And that comes with a little bit of professional whiplash if you've worked for me for any period of time. And so I've had to find people who could really kind of work with me in that dynamic as the visionary and helping clients see it, because that I spend most of my time doing vision, alignment, and coaching. And it's across the board. It's vendors, it's clients, it's team, it's across the board. And what we try to do is we try to just align them, like, because share the vision, outline the vision, align everyone to make sure that we're all on the same page to deliver the great service that we do. And then how do we really focus on execution? And I couldn't do it without them. I mean, they're fantastic. But in short, they kind of allow me to be me.
That's great. So, just so I can make sure I reiterate all the services that you have. So, if I were a client, I could hire you to do interior design, also building, remodeling. So, do you have a separate team that does interior design and a separate team that manages project management? And then I
Yeah.
could also, which most people will not let you ever go, like you have to help me buy everything from the salt and pepper shaker to furnishing. And then
Yes.
I decide I'm going to have my kid's wedding at my home. So do you have separate groups for each, or do they overlap? Or once I get
It
in a
was
group,
great. I mean, it's really been such this amazing evolution, but I boil it down to three business units. Okay. If you can think of it, three legs of the same stool that support the client. The first is typically 90% of our work comes to us in a design build capacity. Someone wants to do a remodel, somebody wants to build a home, somebody bought a home and maybe or is going to buy a home, wants it evaluated for potential remodeling. Like, what's it going to cost me? We do a fair amount of that work. So there's the design build wing. Then it usually then morphs right into the honor of being able to finish the home for them. Like our goal with design build is to lay the foundation of great design so that we get the opportunity to actually furnish it from a personal perspective. And one of the things we pride ourselves on is we don't miss a detail. In other words, like, it's down to the artwork, it's down to, like you said, the salt and pepper shaker. And then what I was realizing about 3 or 4 years ago is we were handing over the keys to these amazing lifestyle assets. We were literally like, hey, thank you so much. And the relationship would kind of end at the drapery pin. Like, you'd put the drapery pin in, you'd say thank you very much. And then unless they had another project, there wasn't a connection point. Well, what we realized was nobody knew the home better than we did. Nobody had put more energy and effort collaborating with the client, by that time you're done with the project, you become friends, right?
Yes, of
I
course,
mean,
of
if
course.
you do it, if you're doing it, at least in our model, if we're doing it right, it builds a bond. And it makes just total sense for then you to like help them leverage it because they get into this home and they're like, okay, especially if they're new to an area, our job then is to sort of assimilate them into this awesome new thing that they've created and
Mhm.
then help them get into some rhythm and cadence so they can really enjoy it.
Yeah.
And that I never saw. It's not of the industry. In other words, I don't know another firm that's doing it, but I also know that for us, it's just intuitive.
Yeah, no, I mean, I do know that there are some clients, especially legacy families, that their interior designer is literally a part of the family and like they don't have a
Right.
dinner party without the interior designer. But it's very rare, very, very rare. And so I could see now that all the clients that you've done any projects for, like every year in August, saying, okay, we're getting ready for the holidays. Are you hosting? Do you want some sir? And people are like, oh my God, I love you. Thank you. Thank you, because they're busy, right? I mean, that's not the maintenance side that you had already talked about, which is a whole nother thing. Like you're the estate manager, which there are companies that only do that, like they know the painters and everybody. And that's another thing. But I mean, really living in your house and taking advantage, and let's put heaters outside even in Lake Geneva in December, and let's take your Christmas party outside for a fire pit. Like,
I mean, you know what's interesting? The service also here, here's the hard thing about hosting, being a hostess or a host. You're like, you always are excited to share it, but then you know it's work.
yes.
And so that I what I have found is that keeps people from sharing the amazing thing that they've built.
Yeah.
And I always felt like that was such a shame. I'm like, this is ridiculous. Like, let's surround our clients with great people who make hosting easy. And
Yes.
and when we do that, it's amazing um how much more people share the home. And it's always been my belief that we build interiors, and at the core of our company, we want to build great interiors and great homes to connect people. Not only connect creator to like patron, like the person who's helping them design it, like that connection is amazing, but more importantly, connect families, build families together. We have so many clients that have said the reason I'm doing this is I want to create a space for my grandkids and kids to come back to. They're all over the country. We want to create something special. Please help me do that. And so what I find is that there's this really like just soulful, like really like personal motivation behind it. And unfortunately, and I've said this and I have no problem saying this industry wide, we've made it so transactional. We've made it, and that's our fault as an industry. We've made it about the color of the year. We've made it about the trend. We've made it about that versus why we create together,
Yeah.
and that we believe that we're a better society when we build things together than when we tear things down. And it sounds altruistic, but it's actually playing out every day. Like, we build memories, we build moments, and we happen to do it through interior design. We happen to do it through the convenience of maintenance and oversight of the home, and we happen to do it by making the selection process and the design process fun again. And
Yes.
so you asked me about my team, like, we laugh. I mean, like, they're an amazing group of people, and all they want to do is come through. They
Oh,
just want to be known to come through. And who wouldn't want a team like that? So that's the culture we've tried to craft, but our business model is sort of full circle.
yeah.
Like, by the time another design or decoration or design build need comes up, because we're in the relationship, we're kind of the obvious choice,
Of
or
course.
that's at least the goal.
Yeah. So, Philip, what you've done is you've really, there's a lot of people that talk about clients for life. I mean, this is really, you are part of their lives. And maybe it's just a consult and you can say, hey, I just recommend you do this and then let them go and do it. But maybe it's everything that they need, they need
Well,
your,
and they're a part of ours. I mean, when you think about some of the homes I've done, I mean, I'm going on some relationships that are now like 20 years old,
right.
four or five homes.
Yeah.
I've seen them go through multiple life stages. I've seen their kids go through stages. And to just be a part of that and to know that you had a hand in creating a home
Yeah.
for
Oh,
that is, I mean, that's just it's a special calling. And I know that like with Powerhouse Smart and your ability to talk about connection points and about, you're always talking about let's make it about more than just the design and the project. Let's make it about the relationships. Like that's why like we love being a part of the organization because we feel like it's in complete alignment with who we are.
thank you. Thank you. You know what? Connecting souls is, one of our choices or paths or passion here on this earth. And so everything that you're saying is you brought it to the level of not just internally B2B, but externally to all of the clients that we touch. And I just think it's brilliant,
And
honestly.
it extends to the greater chorus. I mean, if you think about the fact that like all of the vendors and artists and contractors, because I'm a former contractor, because I've been a retailer, and because I've been a fabricator, and because I've been an artist, I understand where they fit, and I also appreciate what they bring.
Right.
And so I think, that I think from an autodidact perspective, as sort of self-schooling goes, I love the fact that I have that deep understanding of all of the disciplines because
Yes.
I understand how all the puzzle pieces fit together and I really understand and really appreciate what they bring. And and so by extension, we sort of see our vendors and our team as family.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And having and celebrating them as much as you do your clients and your own internal team. And then it's so rewarding for your team. I mean, I'm sure your team has been with you forever and it's like the perfect job. Like I come to work and I really do love what I do. So, but you did say earlier that you're doing projects, and I know Lake Geneva is a beautiful vacation community, and of course, Illinois, where you're from. But are you doing things like across the United States? Give us some other
Yeah,
locations.
it's like one of the recent projects that I've been spending a lot of time doing is, I mean, obviously, I think it feels like the world is moving to Florida, so it just feels like everyone's doing work. And right now, we do work in Naples, Florida. We do work in Captiva. We've done some work in Sarasota. We've also done on the West Coast. We haven't done any East Coast of Florida yet, but one of the recent projects we have is Bedford, Pennsylvania, of all places. It's sort of like if you're familiar with Kohler, Wisconsin, the spa town. It's akin to that. It's sort of like a wellness community nestled in a valley 2 hours outside of Pittsburgh, and it's just beautiful and peaceful. It just happens to be where one of our clients has an executive retreat. And so we sort of go where the relationships take us.
Okay,
And
great.
and what I love about that is, I love the regional influences. Um, and I love the fact that the clients love exploring those, so they don't have to have the same look in every home.
Yeah.
I think one of the things that has always made me a little, I don't know, just a little like, when I look at the industry, this need to want to foster a look to broker
Yeah.
instead of being the service and creative channel for your client to express themselves.
Yeah.
I always know in every home in every project I begin, every home we're trying to craft. It's not about me. It's about what I can bring to the project that allows them to express themselves. And
Absolutely.
the minute you get over that hump and they realize that you're not gonna dictate, what the design vision is, you're gonna actually try to help them solve the equation. All of a sudden the all of the barriers fall away, all of the walls fall down and crumble. And I think that's when in that vulnerable space, the clients are like, okay, they're really listening, he's really listening, and he wants the best version of me. And this time in this particular part of the country, I'd like to explore this style or that style. That, Wendy, is when it gets really fun. When you've designed for the same client three different styles of home
Oh,
and
yeah.
and they love all of them equally. Like that's really exciting.
Or even designing an executive retreat. How cool is that? And then I'm looking at the art behind you. And since you started the conversation with a degree in fine art.
Yes.
So are you really involved in selecting like original art for all of these homes? I mean, to me,
Oh,
that's like would
a
be,
100%. Like, one of my recent clients is into historical collectibles. So we were finding everything from vintage American flags to, vintage political campaign art, big history buff. I have another client that's into regional art of the area in Geneva Lake. The Bedford project will have regional artists, right, from the area, including what my particular favorite, which is family heirlooms. Like I really love taking people's sort of personal lineage and personal treasures that they just can't figure out how to use.
Yeah.
and then helping them incorporate them into the design in a beautiful way.
Wow.
Um, because then they get the best of both worlds. They get, inherently the art you hang on your wall should mean something to you.
Oh,
If it's a placeholder, you're really not doing it right.
yeah.
And so there should be some sort of connection. And so, that's when I say that we take the design to the nth degree. Yeah, I think the finishing is one of my favorite parts.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm looking behind at all the beautiful art you have. And I'm just thinking that you could actually do an education session for our, B2B community, Powerhouse Smart, and share with how you curate your art and,
Well, and our in-house workshop has never left us. So we make a lot of our own stuff. Like I have my own individual artwork in clients' homes because I just have a series of what I'm working on, and they'll see it in my gallery or in my workspace, and they'll say that's perfect. That means something to me. And it wasn't because I did it. It was just because it resonated. So, the maker in me has
yeah.
never left, and that's still a huge part of who we are.
Yeah, I mean, it's all about like you said, full circle. It's about an entire experience in life. I always say the definition of life is love and full expression. And you're just pulling it full circle with all kinds of silver threads all through. It's just so beautiful, Philip. God, how lucky am I to have met you?
Oh
I'm just
gosh.
feeling really great
Well,
about
I feel like we found you at the right time, and we were kind of muddling through this model. I mean, growth is never easy, and we were muddling through this model. But what was great was, the heart of our team and the service, the dedication to true service, meaning it's not about you, it's about them,
right.
and trying to figure that out. I don't know that that's pushed enough to the forefront in the creative space in our industry. I feel, and what's interesting is I do get it from the relationships that when I talk to individual designers about why they do it, it is very personal to them. Like it is very, and I wish we would feel more comfortable sharing that as a part of the service offering because let's be honest, the dirty little secret is we would do it for free. We don't. But we want to create, it's sort of who we are, and we find a way to monetize it fairly for what we believe the value is. But in the end, I'd like to believe that the industry begins to move itself away from a style trends and more towards service trends. What's the best way to help the client become the best version of themselves?
Right.
Like, yeah, I say it's not about being the coolest kid in the room. It's about making the client the coolest kid in every room.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my God. And it just I just see all the beautiful connections there, Philip. It's just so fabulous. So I want to make sure everybody knows how to reach you. So in the links, you'll see links to your website, all your social media. I would love if you have a project in the next year, 2026, to even schedule a hard hat project tour, and then we can show snippets and photos through social media and share with everyone in the audience
Sure.
that's hearing this.
Happy to. The project in Captiva is going to be spectacular. That's an amazing project. So that might be a good one. So we've got enough projects. We're happy to share.
Oh, I love it. Thank you so much. So I always end, this is always too fast for me, but I'm just so blessed that I got this time with you right before we go into
You.
beautiful holidays where we have so much gratitude. I always end with a question. So my question would be, Philip, how would you define a well-lived life?
It's interesting. I've been asked this question sort of similar to this quite often. And I do believe that the calculus is different for everyone. But beyond the essentials, it's options. For me, it's choice. For me, a well-lived life is choice. And the choices can be simple, the choices can be complex, but I really believe that the world of art and creativity is too vast, right? There's too many things in this world to explore. What the beauty in it, the gratitude, the expression of gratitude is to have the honor to explore it. So to have choices and have options to explore, right? And to sort of, have new experiences, meet new people, learn new things, expand your mind, to me, um, that's real luxury. Is how do I create not having to, right? How do I create wanting to in as many areas of my life as possible?
Well, I would hire you in a heartbeat. I have three adult children getting married in the next couple of years. I might have to reach out. Philip, you are amazing, amazing. I am so grateful that you're in my life now. And hopefully
Oh,
this
thank
is
you. Same.
just the beginning. I'm going to go check out your radio show as soon as I'm done here. And
Please.
please give your wonderful family, family of your team, Lauren. She's the one who helps me get connected to you. Thank them
100%.
all. Wishing you health, happiness, joy, and we will see you in 2026.
Oh my gosh, same to you. And thank you so much for having me on.
Oh, thank you.
Bye,
So
dear.
excellent.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.